Hello everybody and welcome to another one of our leadership training videos. As you may be familiar by now, the leadership training videos are shared with you with the objective of giving you thoughts and ideas about what the key leadership traits are that you need to succeed and improve on your own personal skills. If you're new to leadership or you've just started your leadership journey, then hopefully some of these insights will be there for you to build upon. And I know I've had some wonderful feedback from people who are just at the beginning of that process. So this is not just for those who are fully fledged leaders, but for those who are starting on that journey. Today we're going to talk about promoting people. Now, promoting people is one of those topics which often gets put aside because you just sort of think it happens, or you assume that your choices and selections are the right ones. But promoting people can be one of the most rewarding experiences of leadership. But quite frankly, it can also be one of the most disastrous for reasons I'm going to share with you, so you can put it in the balance and see and remind yourself of whether any of these resonate in terms of how you lead. My name is Chris Igwe. I have over 35 years experience leading, training, developing individuals and teams across 5 major markets in Europe, Middle East and Africa where I've lived and worked. If you're not familiar, then please like, comment, share your insights, ask questions, and of course subscribe to this channel so you know when other videos are going to become available, and look back on the previous ones as well. So promoting people. Well, I'm going to start out with something very simple. The first thing is the considerations. What are the things that you need to consider when you are promoting people? And you may say, well, it's straightforward, this is easy, but believe me when I say often many, if not all of these are forgotten or ignored. The first is when you're considering promoting someone, my recommendation would be always to look inside the team or the company. Now, maybe someone else in the company who's gone up the ranks or developed in whatever skill or area you want, because remember we're talking about leadership. It could be management as well, but it could be more about leadership. But as you promote people in the team, you want to ask yourself, what is their management experience as well? What have they acquired? What have you seen? What have you developed with them over time? What, if any, is their leadership experience? And that leadership experience you can find through maybe things you've given them where they've worked alongside you, or they've had specific tasks and responsibilities that they've been dealing with. Do they adhere to your values? And this is very often one that is forgotten. So you as a leader have your own views, your own attitude towards what those values might be. And normally you would have developed these in your team, quite frankly. Over time, you'd have been making sure that people understand what the values are. So does this individual, through their leadership experience, management experience, do they adhere to your values, the ones that you have set? Other things that are really important, because otherwise they become roadblocks and problems for later on, is can they take criticism? So where you've criticized them or given them feedback, if you prefer, how have they taken it? Has it been something that has devastated them, impacted them? Have they got aggressive? What are their attitude towards listening? Are they good listeners within the team already? Listeners to you as well, listeners to other people. Are they, and this is a dangerous one, power freaks? In other words, the moment you put them in that leadership role, or for the purposes of this management role as well, are they going to see that as a power moment and a power play? Because if they are, that's a dangerous experience to have in your team later on. Are they individuals who are trusted either by you or, and more importantly, perhaps by the rest of the team? Because remember that whatever team, department, group they are going to lead, the team has to be able to sign up and say, that was a good choice, a good decision, well done. Do they want to lead? Now, you may think this is obvious and everybody wants to lead, but I've had the experience where, thankfully, I went to somebody who I felt was going to be the better one to lead that particular group. And by discussing with him, he actually said no. He wanted to stay in his own corner, do his own thing. He was very, very good, one of my best individuals, but he wanted to continue without having the burden and responsibility of leading and growing and developing other people. So do they want to lead? Some people don't. So again, be aware, if they don't want to lead, don't give them a leadership role or promote them. Are they teachable? Really, really important. Can you share with them your knowledge and insight, which they will embrace because they want to learn and because they want to grow? Not everybody wants that. So what would be the selection criteria? Let's delve down a little bit further into it. So you've assessed what the aspects are to consider as to who to promote. The next questions are, how long have they been in that role? Clearly, if they've not been in it very long, then you're perhaps taking a risk, unless they are high flyers, of course. If they are, then that's fantastic. But how long have they been in that role? What is their experience, which we talked about before? What is their reputation, not just internally, but externally? If they're externally facing, which could be external to another team, department, part of the business, in the country, across borders, or maybe with clients, what is their external perception and reputation? Really, really important, that one. So internally, they may be fantastic, but outside, they're not. What is their attitude towards their colleagues as well? Do they have that respect? Do they have that listening, which I talked about? Are they good at communicating? What is their behavior? And when I say on stage or off stage, in other words, we all play to an audience. That's just our nature, generally speaking, if you're in a leadership role. So if you're leading or managing or growing a particular group of people, what are you like off stage? In other words, when the light or the spotlight is not on you. Are your values, your integrity, your approach the same whether you're being watched or not being watched? That's critically important. And what is your maturity? Are you a mature individual? Whatever you want to define maturity as, do you see them as mature individuals? So as you look at this, then you say, are they, we talked about maturity, are they individuals who have empathy? We've talked a few times in the past on other leadership training videos. I focused specifically on empathy or emotional intelligence, both together. Are they empathetic? Are they people who, whoever they're leading would say, I want to go to talk to him or her because I believe they will understand, or I'm running late to a meeting, will I get told off, will I get shouted at? And the reason is specific because I have family issue or a challenge. Is there empathy there? Will they follow instructions? If you give them instructions, are they likely to follow it, or will they challenge it every step of the way? And very importantly, can they work autonomously? Are they individuals who you can say, this is what I want you to do, go and do it once the instructions are clear? So those are all some of the main considerations. And then what I wanted to share with you is, okay, that's great, but how do you minimize the risk? Because I'll be honest with you, I have made mistakes in promoting individuals. Thankfully, very, very few. And on the occasions when I did, I wasn't listening to not only my gut and my instinct, but also some of what I'm sharing with you here. So I've had the painful experience of what promoting individuals does in a team and in terms of performance. So the first thing is you need to define the expectations for what they are going to do once you've given them that role. So once you've defined it, you can ask your peers. So maybe other heads of department, other company leaders inside your business or outside. So those you know, maybe ask, how did you promote? What criteria do you use? How do you go about setting that whole process in motion? So peers internally and externally, because that's important. Get as much feedback as you can. Perhaps one of the most important times is at the annual review time. At annual review, you review what they've done in the past year, you see where they're going to go and how you plan it with them. And those milestones, bearing in mind that you presumably have defined them as a potential future leader or manager. If you do so, then set out what the expectations are and be transparent. You could say, look, I expect to promote somebody, or if you're up to it in a few years' time, you could be the person that takes over this role or has this role. So you could do that, but that at least allows you to set the benchmark. And then maybe you could just give them an important task or project is another way of doing it. You want to test them. You want to see if all those criteria for selection are being fulfilled. That's really important. And that's often one of the easiest ways, to be honest, especially if they don't work as regularly and as closely with you as you might expect. And then finally, you may say, well, why promote someone? Well, believe it or not, there are some leaders who I've met in my career who don't actually want to promote someone. Bizarre as it may sound, there are people like that because they believe that they can do it all. They want all the glory, they want all the success, they want all the power. Well, obviously their leadership skills is then called into question. But the main reasons for me are you promote people because, remember, leadership is about growing individuals, growing the team, improving their skill, their knowledge over time that they spent with you. So you want to grow individuals, you want to grow them into performing better and being more satisfied, because at the end of the day, they want to enjoy their jobs and roles and responsibilities, but you also want to grow leaders. I've had the privilege of changing companies on several occasions. My lifespan in a company was somewhere between 3 and 4 years. I didn't leave because I specifically wanted to. I left because I was 9 times out of 10 headhunted. So I had that privilege of being in the headhunter's eye. And for me, the cycle of what I needed to do demonstrated a need to move into another business. So you want to grow leaders. I wanted to grow those who, once I'm gone, had the ability to take over my role, my function, my department, my team. So you want to grow leaders because that gives satisfaction as well. It also, importantly, frees up your time. So as a leader, you don't want to be bogged down in the day-to-day of everything going on. You don't want to manage all these things that are happening. You want to have individuals who can grow into it and free up your time so you can be more strategic. You can look more at where the business and the company is due to go and, I guess, focus on that in a more diligent way. So it frees up your time to do other things that are important to the business, the team, the company, but also allows you to spend time with other people, helping them to grow as well. And they may not be leaders. It may just be somebody needs you to go to a meeting with them, as I've done on many an occasion. Someone who might need just the support, the input. Maybe I need to bang on the table because a client is being very unpleasant or unfair on my team, and I was very protective of my team, always have been. So go where you are needed. It allows you to help other people. So those are some of the ideas I want to leave you with, basically to review how you promote individuals, looking at what you've done in the past that has worked or not worked, maybe benchmark them against some of these ideas and thoughts. And of course, if you have other amazing, interesting ideas, please feel free to share, comment, like, and of course, subscribe to this channel. So I hope that this short video has given you some more insights into how to promote individuals in your team and of course, for you to be successful. Thank you.